So my fucking painting is finished. I'll share the full thing in a time lapse very shortly. I'm working my ass off to share all these fucking videos for like maybe 1 or 2 people that are watching them. You're welcome. I get no thanks for this. I get nothing for this. All the work that I do. Don't expect anything really. I think I'm releasing like 2 or 3 videos a day. Some people have the audacity to dislike the fucking videos, even though they don't get any likes. Fuck you. I don't care. Gonna do it anyway. I've been working on this piece. I think it's like 3 weeks. I think, I'm not sure. Maybe a month. I don't know. Time doesn't exist when I'm painting. And I love it. And I'm so proud of this piece. I love the fucking mouths. They're all my mouths. And I just did a bunch of different... See, by the way, I don't really care if anyone is actually interested in what I have to say. I know that what I have to say is valuable. And that's the reason I'm talking on camera, is because it's taken me 36 years to really realize that what I have to say is valuable, even though I haven't actually achieved anything and I haven't been recognized as anything. I've done a lot of shit. I've done a lot of amazing stuff. And I don't really care if people don't care or don't find it interesting or think I'm an idiot, or I don't fucking care what anybody thinks. The only things that I'm interested in people sharing is being kind. And if you're not going to be kind, then fuck you. I don't care. So that's how I feel about sharing online, is I'm putting in so much fucking effort to do this, to share, that the only thing that people are welcome to say is thank you and be kind, and that's it. I don't give a shit about people being critical or stupid or critical in any way. Really, honestly. The other day, some stupid person said that I sounded a little bit flat on a video that I was sharing of me singing, and the fact that I'm filming myself singing and then editing it and putting it up online for anybody to listen to is their privilege. And I don't need to share it. I don't need to document it. I don't need to post it online. And I'm a great singer, and I don't really give a shit if I'm a little bit flat. I'm a human being. So if people like that who leave even benignly stupid comments, like being critical, I delete it because it's useless and I don't care. That's really how I honestly feel. I welcome people, I don't really even know if I welcome people challenging my lifestyle or being critical in any way. Not interested. I'm not going to change who I am because some stupid idiot online says something to me. And there aren't enough people following us online for... I do value the people that follow, and I do value the people who are watching this right now. Even though I don't know pretty much any of you. The only one I really do know is Bragitta, who's been following us for like 15 years, ever since the channel first started, Mystical Mutants. She will sometimes go on a video and put timestamps on all the parts that she likes the most, and she actually is paying attention. There are a few other people who I know by their screen names that have been following and actually pay attention, and I really appreciate that, even if I don't know who you are. Thoth doesn't read or listen to any of the comments. He doesn't look at anything. He has no idea that anybody likes or dislikes anything that he shares, which I think is a great way to go, because it doesn't matter in the end. I'm doing this for me, and it's just the same as I'm doing this for me, I'm doing this for me. It's all for me. I don't really give a shit about what anybody thinks about it, really, honestly. So if you have a criticism, just keep it to yourself, because I don't give a shit what you have to say. I'm living my life, I'm doing my own thing, and you're doing your own thing, and that's fine. And I know that I'm going to seem crazy or whatever to whoever who might think that, but I know who I am, and I also know that most people don't give a shit, and I don't really care. I've gotten to this point, and I feel like an old lady, like I've expressed before, that I've gotten to this point in my life in which I can't care anymore about what people think, and I can't care anymore about people recognizing me or valuing me or looking at me or even paying attention to me. The few times that people actually acknowledge and see me for what I am feels nice, and I really appreciate it. But I know what I am, and I know who I am, and I don't need people validating me in order for me to feel like a valid person. God, I love this mouth. This is a great mouth. It's funny because as I work on the piece, you can see that the mouths are getting better and better. It's such a complex piece. It's gosh, I'm so proud of this piece. It's the best piece I've ever made, and it would be nice if I could sell it, but I probably won't. Probably no one is interested. Lots of mouths, lots of eyes, lots of universes, and this part is the thing that I kind of finished. Thing in the middle, I can't see it. All these little eyed creatures floating around with stars and galaxies and planets inside of them. I love that. This is kind of the part that showed me that it was finished. So, and then I put all the fiery stuff all around the bottom. Oh, sorry, all around the little alien creatures this morning. I was finishing it. And I was listening to, the thing that makes me feel so fiery today is I was listening to some really great interviews by Harlan Ellison. Anybody who knows who Harlan Ellison is, he's just this great, amazing writer. He wrote one of my favorite short stories of all time called I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream. It's just an incredible piece of weird writing. And I was watching the interview and he said that he wrote it all in one night. And I know how that feels. And he was just talking about how we live in a society that dumbs us down by, these days by social media, by television, by news, by religion and all this crap. And it makes it, especially religion, kind of makes you feel like there's something out there that is watching over you and kind of making your life the way it is. And he was expressing how there's nothing out there. The universe doesn't care. It's all random. Which I don't know what I feel about that. I definitely believe that there's something happening, maybe, that I believe that when we die that we like go home to what we really are and we realize that we're guided here, that we made this choice, that we made the choice to come here before we even got here as souls, and we chose our parents, and we chose our siblings, we chose what we were going to be tested with, and and then we made this agreement that we were going to go through this life and then come out the other end, and when we die that we're sent back to our home and that's, like I've expressed with making art, that's what I feel like I'm creating is my, in this film called What Dreams May Come with Robin Williams, which is another, I was listening to a talk between Robin Williams and Harlan Ellison also, and they're just so great together. And in What Dreams May Come, it's that they're artists and they basically create their own heaven with their art. And when they die, when Robin Williams' character dies, he sees his paintings and his wife's art as real, like a heavenly realm. And I find that to be so cool. So I've always held on to that as my belief in you create your own, in life, you create your own reality. But I don't believe that there's like a God watching over us and there's something, hold on, Mimi needs to come up. Got her. She's all pretty. She got a haircut this morning, just a minute ago. Isn't she beautiful? Look at her. So beautiful. You want to sit with Mama? You want to go inside? So pretty. Look at her. So blessed to have this little one. She's very fluffy. So we live in this society that has told us, it's told me from childhood that there's a God and he's like, there's a divine purpose for everything, and he's watching over you, and he's guiding you along the way, and has a big beard and is sitting on a cloud somewhere. And I was hearing Harlan Ellison talk about this, and how, you know, anybody who thinks there's some guy sitting on a cloud with a beard kind of divining everything in your life is an idiot, because there's nothing there. It's just us. And the thing that I believe that Yeshua was, like, I think Thoth has said this, that Yeshua was trying to teach us, is that we are our own God. We are our own manifester of our own reality. Not something floating around in the clouds. I definitely believe that there is something beyond us that we don't understand. For example, I believe that there are heavenly realms. I believe there is something there that is beyond our comprehension. Not God, not you know, a guy with a beard, or I believe that there's some things that are there, because, for example, when Thoth almost died getting hit by the motorbike the other day, there was something there protecting him, like an angel or a spirit or something that was watching over him and didn't let him get fucking killed by the motorbike. Instead, it just swiped him. And the violin was destroyed, you know. So I do believe that there's something out there. Call it ghosts or spirits or angels, or we as humans have put names on these things. And I think they're nameless. I think they're like the Tao Te Ching says how the thing that is named cannot be named. Once it is named, it is no longer a thing. It's no longer what it is. That the great unknown is an unknown thing that can't be named. And there's no way that us as humans can fucking know what is going on. And for anyone to presume, like any religion that presumes that they fucking know, are dumbasses, I think. Because nobody knows. We don't know what's going on. And I think it's safe to assume that we're too stupid as human beings to know what's going on in the universe. And if there's anything more than that we're just on a rock floating through space in the void, in the great void, which is what is happening. There's something about, like, in regards to art, is something else that I've been working through, is that why would I ever give a shit about people, human beings, which are literally just like, we're just little tiny nothings on a ball floating through space. Why would I give a shit about anybody recognizing me or seeing me or valuing me as an entity, as an artist? Like, there's this really weird thing in our society that as an artist, someone has to be a recognized artist. And so you're either a recognized artist, which means you have praise and you have awards and you have validation and you have love and you have money and you're paid for your work and you make millions of dollars off your art or your music or your paintings or your writing or your dancing or whatever, or you're an unrecognized artist, you're an unknown artist. And this is like a really weird societal thing that really fucks a lot of artists up, and including myself. I've spent the last couple of years in particular just being really fucked up by this idea that I've somehow failed as an artist. And I know I've talked about this a lot before, is that I felt like a failure. And in the last, particularly since we moved here, in the last 6 months, I really felt like a fucking failure. I felt like I'd failed, whatever the fuck that means. I felt like I'd failed as an artist because all the dreams and visions I had for our work didn't happen. Like, we have only a couple of times have actually been on a stage and performed on a fucking stage, or performed in an actual theater, or actually had a fucking audience pay to see us perform. That's been few and far between, and that's what I wanted. Of course, as a performer, that's what you would want, but that requires a lot of stuff that I don't have the ability to manifest right now. Requires audience and interest and press notices and articles and interviews, and it requires a manager and an agent and a blah 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 blah, and going on tour and all this crap that I'm not able to do. So I really felt like I'd failed, and my own father a long time ago called me a failure. My sister recently called me a failure, which really hurt. Shocking. I've never had my family support, like I've expressed before. But it really sat with me in a really painful way that I'd failed. But what does that even, now that I'm over that, and I went through the dark night of the soul and really pushed my way through that hole and came out the other side, to realize that who cares? What is the big deal about succeeding or failing? I'm fine. I'm happy. I'm stable. I have a husband who adores me. I have a beautiful puppy that I love. I live in a beautiful part of the world. I eat good food every day. I get to do what I love every day. I am successful. You know? And anybody who watches any of this shit that I share online knows that. You know, anybody who actually pays attention and is caring and engaged with what I'm sharing online, which aren't very many people, but they're aware of that we have succeeded. And someone did say that to me. They said, I see you as successful because you're living the life you want to live. And fuck yeah, that's the truth. More than that I've failed because I haven't achieved my dreams and I haven't achieved recognition. And this thing in life that the artist really, really has to learn, and we're all going to learn it in our own time, and there's no way that I can, like, just by saying this, that I'm going to convince anyone that this is true, or to learn it and really bring it into themselves. You have to learn it by yourself on your own, in your own time, is that we cannot make art for the sake of wanting to be recognized for doing it. We have to do it for ourselves. It has to be done because like 99.99% of the time that an artist is being creative, they are doing it alone, right? I mean, a writer, like Harlan Ellison was expressing, he spends most of his time alone at his computer, at his typewriter, writing. And it's blood, sweat, and tears, and it's painful, and it's hard, and it's lonely. And same with making art, making music, with practicing an instrument. You know, practicing violin, it hurts sometimes when you're out of shape, when your fingers haven't been worked for a while. It hurts. It's uncomfortable. It's unnatural. It doesn't feel good. You don't want to do it sometimes, a lot of the time. And you fucking do it anyway. Because it's more, the thing about being an artist is that the thing that makes you an artist is that you make art. It's not that people recognize that you make art. It's like we live in this really fucked up society in which people really only feel like they are something because other people say that they are that thing. Instead of that, I am this, and I don't care what anybody thinks. I am an artist. I'm a great artist. I'm a great singer. I'm a very skilled violinist, and I don't need anybody to say that I am in order for me to know that I am. I'm a painter. I'm making an original creative style of art, and every day for hours and hours every day, and I am doing this, and I don't need to be recognized. What does that mean, to be a recognized artist as opposed to an unrecognized artist? A recognized artist really in our society is someone who has achieved something. And what does that even mean? You know, they've written a book that's been on the New York Times bestseller list. An artist has had a piece of art sell for millions of dollars, millions and millions and millions of dollars. A singer has been, had award-winning albums or albums that have won, tons of awards. An actor has been in films that have won them a lot of Academy Awards or something. That's what we consider as being like a valid artist. But what about all the rest of us? What about all the other artists that exist? And there are so fucking many of us. that live their entire lives without anybody knowing or caring that they make art. And then maybe when they're long dead, that's usually what happens, is that their art is then seen. And then people suddenly want to buy it for millions of dollars. That's usually what happens. And that's been a story throughout history, as we know. And it's just, you have to learn, we have to learn as artists that it's okay to be unknown. It's not a reflection of you as an artist for no one to be interested in your art. It's not a reflection on you as a singer that no one knows that you're a great singer. It's just the way the world is. It's that some people are raised up while they're alive and make millions of dollars off their work. Others just are buried under the ground, and nobody knows that they did anything until they were long dead. But it's because they created things when they were alive, no matter what, that they kept creating, that makes it, that people actually know that they created things. Like Mozart's work, he wrote hundreds of operas and symphonies and all this shit, and he was a pauper when he died, but he wrote all these operas, and so they're all there, and his wife saved them and wrote books about him, and da-da-da, and now he's a legendary genius. But he was that then. When he was struggling, and he was suffering, and he was a drunk, and he lost his mind, and all this crazy shit that Mozart went through, he was a great genius, and the reason why he suffered so much is because he knew this about himself. And it really can drive artists to utter despair, to know so keenly within themselves that they are great, and that nobody else seems to care, especially when they suffer financially. Namely, 100%, when artists can't survive as artists, and they can't survive financially, and they can't have a comfortable life, which most artists don't. I mean, they can't put food on the table, they can't live. And we're in a very lucky position that we're not in that space anymore, because we were in that space for so long. I actually remember when we were staying at a friend's apartment in the Bronx back in 2019, when the last time we tried to play in the Angel Tunnel. That summer, stayed all summer and stayed in 3 different apartments. It was so fucking expensive and ridiculous, which is why we've never been back. And there was a couple, an African-American couple, upstairs right above us with a baby. And every day, every evening, we would hear the parents, these young parents, screaming at the top of their lungs at this baby, young child, as they were bathing her, screaming at her at the top of their lungs. And the baby just crying like crazy. I mean, just what a tortured existence this poor child had. And then we saw that same couple, like, falling down the stairs of the apartment building, fighting each other. And the police had to be called, and it was just a horrific terror. I remember looking through the peephole and I said, actually, in a vlog, I cannot believe that we live in a society in which these 2 people have a safe, stable apartment in the Bronx, and we were in a position in which we were constantly being threatened to be thrown out of our place. We had to, like, hide. We couldn't really make notice that we were actually there because we were kind of staying there illegally. The person that was renting the apartment couldn't really have guests, and she was constantly demanding money from us, and naturally, and saying, you can't stay here, you have to leave, and it was just terrifying. We were just under threat constantly. And Thoth and I are like some of the most kind, gentle. I mean, I'm a badass. I don't let anybody fuck with me, but we're good people, and we don't scream at anybody unless they're threatening our life or something. And the dichotomy of that experience. But that's the United States, is that fucked up people who live fucked up lives have all the privileges, just like this asshole Trump. He's one of the richest fuckers in the world, one of the most evil, twisted people I've ever experienced in my life, And he has all the money, all the fame, all the attention. That's how twisted our society is. And if I use that as the basis for the comparison as to if I'm a valid person or not, or if I'm a valid artist or not, fuck that. That's just a waste of my time. If I use other people's validation of me as the reason why I'm a good or bad artist, or useless person, or a failure, or a success, or whatever, that I have my own compass. I have my own belief in myself, that I have to follow that. And that's my guiding force. And that's the thing that in which I manifest the life that I want to have. There's nothing else that does that for me besides Thoth. He's there for me, and he helps me, and he's gentle and caring, and I know people judge him. I know people look at him and with wearing his dresses and skirts and being all cute in his cute little outfits, and they judge him and think he's crazy or whatever, and fuck them. They don't know him. And like recently we spend a lot of time with our friends Zuby and Shashi. They're in their 80s. They're both amazing visionary artists, and nobody gives a shit about them. Zubin created like the tie-dye trend in the 60s, and his whole idea was stolen by a company hired some other people to learn from him, and they stole his work and took it and made millions of dollars off it. And so he's not known for being the starter of that trend. And they're both still very unknown. Shahastra's an amazing artist. Nobody knows about her. And it's actually really comforting to meet people and connect with people who are these unknown geniuses. And that's something that I'm very skilled at finding is unknown geniuses. Because I don't listen to the popular bullshit. I'm not convinced by society telling me that this person or that person is more worthy of attention, because the kind of people that we as a society hold up are fucking idiots, and it's all the people that are unknown, gentle warriors for goodness and peace and love and humility, and live with a sense of nobleness and kindness. Like Thoth is a fucking amazing genius of music. He's created this whole way of performing where he does these walkabouts that are just incredible to witness. Going out and singing for people. He doesn't gain anything from it. He doesn't get money. He doesn't get anything. Praise, recognition, anything. And yet he's becoming a legend here because of it. He's, all the local people call out Pulu Pulu whenever they see him, because they see him for what he is, without him having to hold up a sign and say he's some kind of whatever. Or they're selling you his course for $5 million or whatever. Because that's all bullshit too. It's just like I'm able to see through all the bullshit in the world now, and I'm grateful. It's been a very painful process because it's made me very jaded, very cynical, it's broken me, it's torn me up into little shreds. But I've been built back together as a really strong, badass bitch.